And I'm joined Rhiannon of Kira Mac. How you keeping, Rhiannon?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No, my pleasure, mate. I got sent a one-way ticket towards beginning of the year, I think, but maybe tail end of last.
Yeah.
And yeah, been blasting out singles, so it's good to talk to you, mate, ahead of the album being
Oh,
released.
thank you very much. It's been a whirlwind year, like since that single. It's
Yeah,
been absolutely wild,
I
but
bet.
we've loved every minute. It's been really, really fun.
I bet because then Still has opened up a slot for you last summer, didn't they? Or summer?
So basically, Steelhouse, the bill was full, and Mark, our manager, is good friends with Max and Mikey,
Yeah, they did.
and he sent them the track, and Mikey was like, "Oh my gosh, we've got to have these guys on." And Mark was like, "The bill's full, Mikey. I just sent it you to see what you thought about them." And he was like, "No, we've got to have them." So I was like, "That is incredible." And that was, I think, our first like little confidence boost.
Yeah, I
Apart from everybody loving the single, it was our first like confidence boost of being like, "Oh my god, industry people think we're good."
As you say, the album Chaos is Calling is out next week on the 18th.
It is.
You've been kind enough to send me the album across before we chat tonight, mate. Obviously, I'd heard the singles because, like I say, we've been playing them, but hearing album tracks like Downfall and Hellfire and Holy War, I really enjoyed, and Back for More particularly as well. This album is solid as hell, man. I bet you guys can't wait to get it released out there.
Well, well, me and Joe had a rule when we went into like writing and recording. We had a rule that it was going to be all killer, no filler. I was
Mm,
like, I love an album. I've got like a few country artists that I absolutely love, and I can put their album on and play every single track. And
yeah,
even if I didn't love the tracks at the time, they're growers.
yeah.
And I said to Joe, like, we need to write an album of absolute bangers. And I mean, I hope we succeeded in doing so.
I
But
think
we
it
we
is.
enjoyed. Thank you. We enjoyed writing every single one, and they're very honest. They're very true to our experiences, my experiences lyrically, obviously, and yeah, we just hope that everybody enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed making it. So.
How does the songwriting process work for you guys specifically? Obviously, everyone's
So
got their own way.
this time I think will probably be different. This will probably be the only time that we write the way that we have this time. But I met Joe at uni years and years ago, and he was on the drum course. I was on a vocal course,
Cool.
and he plays guitar and bass as well.
All
And
right.
he said, "I've written these. Obviously, when you're a student at uni, you do not much." And he sat
I
in his
remember.
bedroom. Yeah, eat pizza, don't go to uni, all that. But he basically sat in his bedroom and he'd been writing these like full skeleton tracks on Logic.
Oh, nice.
And he said, "Listen to this, like, see what you think." And we wrote One Way Ticket. And then he just kept sending me tracks and he just kept writing them. And I said, "What are we going to do with these, Joe?" And he said, "Well, we'll go and record an album. I can record all the instruments if you can do the vocals, and we'll take it from there." And in doing so, between writing and being actually in the studio, we found a band. And it just fell into our laps really, and we're a band of brothers, like we gelled so well. Everybody's great, everybody grasps like you wouldn't believe. And that's kind of how we wrote the album. Was me and Joe wrote it, gave it to the boys kind of jazzed their parts up to what they wanted, and we took it and ran with it. But I think that probably next time it will be we either sit in a room, Joe will bring the tracks, we'll sit in a room and we'll really write because we'll have time.
Yeah, you got
But
that time on your side.
yeah, between like the July when we finished writing the album and getting into the studio in the November, that was when we kind of formed a band. So we were fresh and green and naive, and and that's kind of like the way that we wrote this album this time.
Nice. So, how did the other guys come into the band? Were you all friends before, or you go know seen them?
So
I knew
actually, it's
Brett
really
from
funny
round and about. But
because well, Joe's from Hull, I'm
yeah.
from Stoke. Brett and Alex are from Manchester, and little Max is from South Wales. So Brett messaged me and said, "Do you need a saxophone player?" To which I replied, "No."
Mm.
To which I said, "Do you play anything else?" And he said, "I play bass." And I went, "Well, we do need a bass player."
Right.
So we got Brett in, got him down for a jam. We jammed it out. We hit it off. The next practice, Brett brought Alex with him. He said, "I've got us another guitarist if you want one." And I was like, the more the merrier, why not? And then we went through a few temp drummers. So there was the four original members at the studio. And
Oh,
we
nice.
went to a few temp drummers, people that couldn't dedicate their time, but they could play a few shows and all that good stuff. And then we finally dropped on Little Max, and he just fit in. He was the last puzzle piece. He fit right in. We baby him like you wouldn't believe. He just became our band's child, and now we just have to make sure he's fed and watered and he's happy.
You just got to make sure his nappy's changed and everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
But the production on this sounds great though for a debut. I mean, sometimes you get a decent band and you'll see them live and they go for the debut. And normally, obviously, it's down to whatever is available to an artist at that stage in their career. But the production on this is great. It sounds big. It doesn't sound like, you know, some of the debut albums always sound that can sound a bit raw or a bit more garagey. But
Yeah,
this
and
is
I
great.
said, I mean, Joe recorded demos in his bedroom. We could have recorded everything in Joe's bedroom,
Mm.
but I said to Joe, if we're doing it proper. I'm not doing anything by halves. I released an EP way back in the day, 2015, and that was a slapdash job. It was just a bit of money here, and we'll just make some songs.
Yeah.
And I said to Joe, if we're doing it properly. We're going to Motor Museum. I know that Motor Museum churn out great bands. They got U2, Bring Me the Horizon. They got Oasis wrote Supersonic there. It just got such a wealth of history of music. I said to Joe, that's where we're going to go and do it. And we're glad we did. We had a producer called Bob, who was the junior engineer at the time. All we could afford. We were still doing it on a shoestring, but it was the best shoestring we could find. And Bob is from he's from an eclectic background of music. He's recorded all sorts of different things. He's recorded dance tunes and TikTok songs, and he's actually just gone to work at Real World.
All right.
And recorded Anne-Marie. So we dropped on really.
Yeah.
But he brought a whole different level to the songs because he wasn't producing them from being a rock producer. He was producing them from being this is a good tune kind of producer, which I think was a really good string to have to that album bow. And we had a really, really good time recording. The hospitality, the studio was amazing. I mean, we walked in and the first day Joe was to track drums and they said, do you want to use Prodigy's old kit? And Joe was like, yeah, of course I do. Was that a question? Of course I do. So we just had, and especially as a vocalist, I'd not been in the studio that much. And Bob put me at ease, it was an absolute dream. And he was layering vocals and doing loads of different things. And he brought a backing vocalist in who's become one of my really good friends. And she just was out of this world. It was the most amazing experience and on a whole of going to record there, 100%.
That's wicked, man. It sounds like that energy is obviously fed into the album because
definitely.
If you're not having a good time in the studio, it comes across. And equally, if you are having a good time, it comes across as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it was kind of our little musical baby that we were making. And I think we just all wanted it to be the best that it could. And we just all put our hearts and souls into it. And I think it shows.
That's wicked, man. I mean, I'm hoping that, like you say, the tour setting off next week. Is the tour starts or no?
Yeah, it starts 20th of November, so it's in 12 days. Wow. 12 days. Well, all the boys are packed. They're ready to go. Yeah.
I've met Brett once or twice because I'd seen him play with Matty James Cassidy at a couple of things. He does crazy cowboy gigs or did do them. I've seen Brett's already excited for the tour. I'm guessing everyone else is as well, obviously.
Yeah, Brett's been and I love that the only girl in the band is the one that hasn't packed. So, and I'm going to be the diva, aren't I? I'm going to be the one that's got the most stuff.
Yeah, they're setting you up for that stereotype, mate.
Yeah. And Brett's been everywhere. Brett's been in all different bands and stuff. And that was also what was really good, was having Brett's been in the scene for years. And Brett was just like, this is the person we need to speak to. This is the thing we need to do, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, you need someone like that in a band, someone who's, like you say, got those contacts that can be useful.
Seasoned.
Seasoned. That's a nice way to put it. Obviously, I'm hoping to get down to the Globe date. You've also got Planet Rockstock coming up as well.
Yes, definitely. That's going to be really, really fun because we had Planet Rockstock. We were messing about with dates and tour dates and where we were going and what we were doing. But Planet Rockstock was already in the diary, so to be able to work the tour around that and finish on Planet Rockstock is going to be out of this world.
Party to end the party, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be really good. And then the next day, me and Joe go out on tour with Sweet, so there'll be absolutely. I always said that I'm known for buying a tray of Jaegers, and there maybe will be one tray at Rockstock. Just a little tipple, and then we'll have to be good.
So is that as Keira Mac supporting Sweet then, or is that something different? Sorry.
Yeah, so that's as Keira Mac.
Okay,
it's acoustic. So it'll just be me and Joe. But we went out with Ricky Warwick and we had to do it acoustic because our drummer went down with COVID a few days before.
Right, okay.
So we kind of already have an acoustic set ready. And when Sweet rang and said we want an acoustic artist, Mark was like, I can find you one of those.
Yeah.
And obviously me and Joe together have been playing for 1,000 years, it feels like. So we're definitely ready to go out and do some Sweet shows.
And then you're off to, is it Chris Barash you got then after that, or have you got anything?
Yeah, we've got Oh God, it's mental actually. We've got we go out on tour, we go out with Sweet, and then we go out with Stone Broken. We do their Christmas show, and then the night after we've got Dare. We're supporting Dare, and then I think there's a few dates left over with Sweet for me and Joe, and then it goes obviously Christmas, and then next year is a fresh slate. But yeah, Chris Barris is the first show that we do next year.
Nice, it's already lining up nicely for next year. Then you've already, like you say, I'm sure summer period's coming, and I'm sure festivals are snapping you up for those dates as well.
Yeah, definitely keep your eyes peeled.
I will, mate. I will definitely. But while we're talking there about everything, obviously you same sport with Chris Brass and everything. Kind of got to mention the fact, obviously, that you obviously appeared on The Voice recently. How was that experience for yourself?
It was incredible. Like, it was really, really fun. And I'm really lucky. I'm really fortunate to have played a lot in my little 11 years of being a musician. I've played everywhere. I've done everything. I've played to different crowds. I've played to zero crowds. I've played to you name it. But that being on television was the most nerve-wracking thing I have
It's
ever
got to be a
done.
completely different experience to, like you say,
It was.
traditional way.
It was wild because we went in and you do like a dress rehearsal on the stage, obviously, to make sure that nothing goes completely and utterly wrong.
Yeah.
You do a dress rehearsal on the stage, but then to actually walk out and know that, I think what it was is that the audience were there for a start, but to know that the chairs are turned their back to you, but there's like famous people sitting in them, and you don't know what they're thinking because you can't see their face.
No, you can't read it.
And I think if Will hadn't turned so quick, I would have probably been even more nervous. But the fact that he turned so quickly,
Yeah, he turned
definitely,
really
definitely put me at ease for sure.
Like I say, obviously, I'd heard like one way ticket, etc. before you announced that you were going to be making an appearance on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I made sure I gave that a watch. By the way, your nan's a legend, and I love her. I thought she was.
Oh, she's the most. But you know, when I turn to it and I'm like, should you be here? It is not against her person to just walk onto a national stage. That's not against what she would do.
Loved it.
So I turned to her and I was like, but the producers did send her on stage, obviously. There was a lot of question marks around that because she was mic'd up. But I was like, no, the producers definitely sent her on to be like, but it was really sweet and it was really nice and it's completely and utterly made her life. Because she got to meet and sing Top for Tom Jones, which is, yeah, she's just, she's the
I thought
best.
Tom
Like,
Jones at one point was going to try and take down your nan's number. I'll be honest.
I mean, I wouldn't. What would he be? He'd be my step grandfather.
I think that'd
That
be
would
pretty
be
cool.
okay.
Yeah,
That would be okay. I would
I
be
think
okay
most
with that.
people would be pretty happy with that.
Imagine just ringing Tom and being like, "Yo, what are you doing tonight?" He's like, "Oh, I'm playing Hyde Park." I'm like, "Oh, I'm coming."
Yeah,
Right, get your step granddaughter on the list.
Yeah,
Can
sorted.
you imagine? That'd be great.
Would, wouldn't
Play
it?
beverages.
You'd just be sorted.
Yeah, for life. He could have bankrolled us. He could have got us signed.
That would have been the connections that you wanted, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I did see some negative comments from people afterwards, which I thought was pretty uncalled for.
Yeah, no, I
You're
mean,
gonna get it, I suppose, but it
get
just
the
seemed a bit
2%.
unnecessary to me.
You get the 2%. And also, I think people thought they were insulting me when they said I sounded too much like Christina Aguilera. I was like, are you joking? She's like arguably one of the best vocalists over the last 30 years. She's incredible. I will be Christina Aguilera tribute if I can. That is fine. But you get the 2%. And I think at this point in the industry, if my skin wasn't about 12 inches thick, I don't think I would have got here.
No,
you could probably say anything to me and it would not faze me at all.
So
I just don't care.
I think that's the way to be. Like you say, you're gonna get these things. I get it with my festival. Why have you booked so and so and you've not booked them? And there's a million and one reasons why things happen. And a million and one reasons why they don't. And I think a lot of the time people, especially like you say, with comments like the Christina Aguilera voice, what's wrong with that? She's not.
I love her.
She's got a great voice. And
I love it. And she's made a meal out of being a musician for about more than I could ever dream of. So yeah.
Anyone I think so as some people, anyone who's outside their little circle of what they like, they just want to throw mud at it for some reason. But
yeah, and
if you like it or not, just if it's not your thing, just walk away from it. Go, it's not me.
And you get the Karens sat at home on a Saturday night that sing karaoke in their local on a Sunday and think that they're Whitney Houston. Like, come on. You haven't got a clue. You stick to the office job on a Monday, Karen. You stick to the office job on a Monday, and I'll stick to singing.
See which one works better.
Yeah.
So what does the rest of the year and into sort of next year cover for you guys, if there's anything that we've not?
We haven't been able to announce quite a lot. We've got quite a lot coming up next year that's in the calendar that we haven't been able to announce yet. So definitely keep your eyes peeled, because I promise you, it's unreal. Like the stuff that we've got is out of this world. If I say any more than that, Mark, our manager, he'll go nuts. But we've obviously got Chepstow, which will be incredible. And we've got the Chris Barris show, which is, I think that's all that we've announced yet. But there's plenty more in, I promise.
Right, well, I'm going to let you go, mate, because I know you've got some of the interviews lined up. But before
Yeah.
you go, at the beginning of the interview, I'm going to play Mississippi Swinging.
Yeah.
But what song off the album would you like us to play at the end of the interview?
You choose. What do you think is the best one?
Now that
I like Chaos is cool. And I also like Downfall. I really like Downfall.
let's go with something different, mate. Let's play Downfall.
Yeah, let's play
Alright.
Downfall. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's my favorite. Like, that's funny because we wrote that because people are always like, the fact that you want to be a rock star is going to be your downfall. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, as you do. So yeah, then I wrote a song about it, which joke's on you. Thanks for the ammo. But yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been brilliant.
No, it's been good chat to you, mate. And yeah,
And
hopefully
I'll see you at Stone Dead.
I'll see it Stone Dead. And if I catch you on the road beforehand, let's have a tray of Jaegers.
Yeah, let's have, I mean, probably sure will. Right, okay. You know what I mean? Right. See you later. Thank you so much.
No worries. See you later, Rihanna, mate. Take care.